Greetings, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Global Leadership Perspective. This is a platform where we look at leadership both from local and global perspective, trying to break it into palatable pieces and trying to interpret it so that you could be able to understand and perhaps see how it could inform you and perhaps inform your decisions. And so today I would want to partially look at the church and especially in the context of Kenya. And for most of you, for Kenyans, and even for most of you who are familiar with the Kenyan scenario, you are able to at least point something where the church is concerned, and especially with politics. And so that's why it is important to also bring this conversation to us and try to break a few things and see whether it could help us to have a broader understanding. And I want to begin by alluding to one bishop, that is the bishop of the Catholic Church, who last week at some point in media, this is a bishop from the Mount Kenya, he came up and said, you know what, the church, of course, appreciate uh, the way the government is looking at the church as an important entity. But at the same time, he was very quick and bold enough to point out that the government is indeed using the church, those church meetings, those church prayer meetings that are going around the country, around the counties, for political reason. And so, as we talk about this, I want us to have that at the back of our mind. And at the end of this Thailand, at the end of this recording, then you will be able perhaps to either agree with the bishop or disagree with bishop. But I know for those of you who are the supporters of the government in the belong to the ruling party, I'm sure most of you will agree with, will disagree with the bishop, and for most of the people in the opposition party are going to disagree. I mean, to agree with the bishop, unless otherwise someone who has independent thinking and mind then is able either to agree or disagree regardless of which position he or she belong to. But it's important to bring that to our attention. But then, having said that, the church has a place to play in terms of the state and politics, and the state and the government has a part to play where politics is concerned. But I want to say that the church is uniquely distinct where this is concerned. Of course, the government and the church is expected to work to work together in some areas, but this does not mean the church and the state is one thing. These are completely distinct or distinct entities, distinct bodies that has a unique mandate and distinct mandate. So there is a clear dichotomy as much as there are time there seems to be a bit of overlapping. Because yes, the church is independent, but the same church operates under the laws of the land, and so for that reason, there are things that the church is expected to do where the laws of the land are concerned, but basically the church is self-governing. It is uniquely independent and distinct, and for that reason, I have mentioned this, and this is just a reminder that the church has completely unique responsibilities. And one of the unique responsibilities that the church has is to to play a few roles where the society is concerned, and one of the role that is expected of the church is to play the prophetic role, the prophetic mandate. This is where the church really is out to ensure that the state, to ensure that the country is hearing what they need to hear from God, and they're being instructed very well. And we see this from the Old Testament during those times where the kings were the actually were basically monarchy, and I mean, yeah, where the kings were also the priest, and sometimes the prophet, and they played both of those roles by the Old Testament. But basically, the fact remains that the church has a prophetic role to play, and this is supposed to be to remain that way. It cannot change. If somebody wants to change it for personal benefit, then that is quite unfortunate. And the other second thing that the church needs to play, or is supposed to play in the society, is to advocate for ethical, or for ethics and morals. The state has responsibilities, and this is politics, and sometimes they are always devoid of morals and ethics, and for this reason the church come handy, and they ensure that the aspect of ethics and moral is being instilled, and the church has to remain good advocates where this is concerned. So the aspect of morality and the aspect of ethics is very key. And the third thing, of course, is to pray for the state, to pray for the government. And that's why Peter encourages us that we need to all the time lift them in authority to God, talking to God and praying to God where they are concerned, at least so that they can provide good leadership and intentional leadership. And so prayer is key, and we need to do it. But then the state should not use the church for political benefits and political mileage. And where the current government regime is concerned, they have been having a series of prayer rallies in the country. But the fact remains, and I agree with the bishop from the Catholic Church, that the state is using this particular prayer meetings for political reasons, so that when they get this platform, it is not about prayer. They are hiding behind prayer so that they can attract the attention of the church, and appeal to the emotion of the church, so that they can continue to get support from the church, because they know the church commands a huge support. And so they use that platform to conduct their politics, and that is unfortunate. And the church must come out bold enough, and we as clergy people, we must come out and say this must stop, and that will be good leadership that the church will be providing. And so the church must be vigilant, and they must point out these things and say, you know what, this is not acceptable. Yes, we're gonna pray for you. We're going to remain to play our mandate, our prophetic role, and we're going to keep our eye open to ensure that the right things, ethical things, are being done by this government. But don't take advantage of the church for your political mileage. So this has to be clear. So I appreciate the kind of the leadership the Bishop from Mount Kenya of the Catholic Church provided, where that bold statement is concerned. And so all of us who are serious as clergymen and people of goodwill must subscribe to this kind of understanding, and remain firm, and tell the government they need to not to take advantage of the church, and this shall be good leadership. The King bless you, and God bless Kenya.